Hello and welcome to the Long Island Weather Outlook and Report. And we are going to have some heavy rain, maybe a thunderstorm tonight, and the kind of cloudy, dreary day. Luckily, there wasn't the sucky drizzle stop by the afternoon. There were just a couple of sprinkles this evening. The real heavier stuff is further to the south over Delaware, and some of these are some pretty hefty thunderstorms here, as well as into Pennsylvania. And you can see this whole river of moisture that's they're actually referring to it as an atmospheric river now. This river of moisture. So we'll look at it on the satellite. And again, you can see that whole river of moisture just coming up. Basically, a very slow-moving cold front. So this is going to take all night into tomorrow morning to get this to move past our area. We're going to get plenty of rain from it. Let's take a look at our. You can see it. So it goes all the way down to the tropics. You could follow it all the way down to the tropics. This whole string of moisture. We see more and more of these events now due to climate change. There's the storm, by the way, that big storm. There's that atmospheric river right there that you see coming all the way from the Gulf of Mexico and the tropics. And you can actually see some haze and smoke actually right ahead. It doesn't look like we'll deal with any of it, but you could definitely see some of that is now being pushed out over the Gulf. That was probably from Texas and Oklahoma, probably. We're going to shorten this a little bit. We'll take a look at the lightning strikes. Just kind of show you where the thunderstorms are here. And you can see, it doesn't look like they're any too close. This cluster over here in the Delaware Bay looks pretty bad, this cluster right here. Again, looking at it on the radar, we just got a couple of showers, but you can see here definitely looks like exiting over Del Mar. There's some pretty heavy stuff over here that we got going on. And before we talk about the longer range, we will have to talk about the shorter range. There actually is a tornado watch in effect for eastern North Carolina and part of Virginia. And let's see, there's no active warnings for that cell right now, but there are a couple of, if we just show the warnings here, there aren't any active tornado warnings, and there's only one severe thunderstorm warning. But that could change because, again, these things look pretty intense. We're going to look at another look at the radar as well here. And then we also have wind advisory just for the Jersey Shore. No, not for us. Apparently, once again, they think that we're not going to see that. But this cell over here looks pretty bad. That looks like it's going over Ocean City, or just about moving north to Ocean City, Maryland, right now. Looks like a pretty bad cell indeed. We'll look at the radar, not the radar, but the lightning detection as well. Take a look and see how much lightning we're getting from this cell. Actually, it looks like there was a thunderstorm already. I see some lightning strikes already that happened over Brookhaven here. So it looks like there are already some thunderstorms out there already. And you can see some lightning here off Ocean City. And then this cell over here by Richmond, Virginia, producing a lot of lightning. So this is all moving almost in a north-northeasterly direction. So we have to watch for this to come in later tonight. So let's look at the observations, and you can see some very strong southerly winds today, and again, gusts up into the 30s, even across Long Island. Looks like there's a gust of 43 at Shirley, and the air is pretty saturated, as you see. And they're getting rain, and there are a couple of rain showers now popping up, and they're going to become more and more numerous. New York Harbor has a 50-degree reading. South-southeast at 34, gusting to 38. Water temperature is 42. The wave height is at 7.9 feet. So we are seeing some elevated wave heights from these winds as well. Let's look at the high temperatures today, and depending on where you were, obviously, Long Island, it was still well above normal. We were up around 60 degrees, 61 at Islip, even though we really didn't see much of any sunshine. 61 at Central Park, and then as you headed further west into inland areas of Jersey, along the Jersey Shore, 66, still warmer than us, but if you headed a little more inland to western New Jersey and Philadelphia, you were around 70 degrees. And even as we head further north, if you head further inland, around 70 degrees in parts of in areas like Parsippany and central parts of interior central Jersey. So it got pretty warm today. Lows were generally only in the mid-40s, so well above normal today. Well above normal with the temperatures. If we look at our statistics for today, for islip, high of 61 and a low of 47 puts us 14 degrees above normal for the day. And I'm sure March is running way, way, way above normal. In fact, I'm going to look at that right now. We're going to take a look at our preliminary monthly summary for islip. And we're just going to show you how much we are running above normal. And it looks like we're running about 4 degrees above normal so far. So very warm March indeed. Very warm March. So looking at the weather map, you can see, again, you got this river of moisture coming up. Low pressures along a very slow-moving cold frontal system. This is the same frontal system that brought all those devastating tornadoes to the south, Dixie Alley area and the Mississippi River Valley. And this is all moving east. Well, we don't expect the same kind of severe threat from this. We go to the Storm Prediction Center, and you see it looks like, oh, well, it looks like they just put us in a marginal risk? Or, yeah, I think they did put us in a marginal risk. Did they? No. We're just in a general thunderstorm risk, but that marginal risk is just outside our area. And then there's that slight risk that's in the mid-Atlantic. They seem to think that we're not going to see any severe weather, but I wouldn't be so sure of that. I think the main threat with these storms is going to be strong wind gusts because of this very strong LLJ that we've got going on right now. Looking at our surface analysis, again, you see the bunched up isobars, the Atlantic Ridge, the LLJ in place in this very slow-moving front that we've got to deal with right now. Let's go to the models, and we're going to deal with this tonight, and then we'll talk about how the rest of the extended range. You see our front there slowly going to crawl, and you can see the yellows over us. It's going to be a very slow mover. Maybe a wave of low pressure forms along it, enhances the rainfall. So I think we're going to get plenty of rain. That's the good news about this. Hopefully it'll put a really good dent in the drought, hopefully, and maybe an end to these wildfire risks, at least for the time being. Now, the HRRR, we don't have the full HRRR. We've got to remember we are on daylight savings time, but it is enough to show this storm. And you can see some clusters of showers and thunderstorms moving through tonight. And then a heavier batch, looks like aimed mainly at the Jersey Shore and Suffolk County, will move through after midnight or so. And again, there could very well be thunder and lightning with these showers, and there'll be thunderstorms. And you can see you can see how it kind of just trains over and particularly the east end from West Hampton and the Forks, which is an area, again, that kind of needs it. Is going to get a good amount of rain, and that rain's going to linger around. It looks like the HRRR is lingering. This is late morning, still lingering around. Look at this, still is it lingering around even into the afternoon a little bit, and then finally, as we get toward the evening, it finally dries out. So this is really, really slow moving. The HRRR, it seems to have slowed the front down a little bit in this particular run, and because of that, if we look at the total accumulated precip, you'll see that some areas. Most of Long Island is going to see between 1 and 2 inches, but areas that could see over 2 inches, the east end, the Forks, and also the Jersey Shore, from I would say Tom's River on south, could see over 2 inches of rain according to this particular model right here, which is the HRRR. Let's look at the NAM, which will be the next one we can look at, and we only have the 18Z NAM to work with here, but we can show you what the NAM has. And it actually moves the heavier rain a little bit further west. All right. So let's go and look at how the NAM, this is the 18Z NAM here that we've got. So again, you see that heavy rain occurring overnight. Again, showers, thunderstorms, particularly over Suffolk County, it looks like a lot of showers and thunderstorms with heavy rain, and a little bit of a break. And then it has another batch moving through of lighter rain, perhaps late morning. And again, you can have that lingering rain that might linger into part of the afternoon before finally moving on eastward. So this thing is taking its sweet, sweet time. It's going to take its sweet, sweet time moving. It's very slow moving. It's hitting that ridge, and so you're going to be stuck in the atmospheric river for a while. But the good news is there will be plenty of rain, and maybe a good enough amount of rain to get us out of this drought, and get most of the areas out. I'd like to see that severe drought definitely gone from Jersey after this. Now we're going to talk about the LLJ. All right, so here's the LLJ that we're going to be looking at here. This is first on the NAM. You can see the LLJ moving over our area. And again, it's the LLJ seems to move at a decent rate away. So I would say the damaging wind threat will probably be over by the morning rush, but you might still have to deal with the winds. I meant the rain. This is the NAM. Well, let's look at the HRRR here. So it might look a little different. Let's see. Yeah, it seems like the worst part of the LLJ seems to move east. And the LLJ isn't really all that impressive with this. But any shower thunderstorm could bring that down to the surface. So you have to keep that in mind as well. Dew points and wind flow. We'll go ahead and look at this as well because this kind of shows the story. We're in the moisture tonight, and you can see how it takes a while to dry out tomorrow. The dew points stay in the 50s. It's not until we really get to it, 4 or 5 o'clock, that we start to see those dew points drop with northwest winds taking over, and then northwest winds taking over into Tuesday. All right. And then the temperatures will also stay up there as well. Obviously, we have temperatures that are going to stay in the 50s tonight. You can see here, they're going to stay right there until probably tomorrow, late tomorrow afternoon to the evening, when they'll finally start dropping off into the 40s. And then by Tuesday morning, we'll be in the mid-30s. But don't let that fool you. Tuesday will be mild. We have to wait for the rest of this show to come in, which I'm going to kind of get to when I finish up this. When we go over the longer range, I'll come back to this. All right, there are more models I want to look at here. HDRPS for precipitation as well. So here's the HDRPS, again showing that heavy rain, particularly over Suffolk County. And it looks like the HDRPS seems to want to move that heavier rain all up the east by probably the morning, but then it kind of the rain still lingers around, and it just takes a while for it to just get on out of here. This seems to be the trend in these models. It just wants to slow this thing down. So we're going to have to see what happens here with this. But there definitely seems to be a trend toward it slowing it down. And if you have plans for St. Patrick's Day, a lot of these parades, they may be raining, which really sucks. I know a lot of them had parades today. So, but the one in the city, I know, you might have to deal with some rain. Not heavy, but definitely might be some light rain around as this thing just kind of slowly crawls on through. So we covered all this. Let me just go back to does have a Cape parameter? No, this one does not have. All right, let me go to back to the HRRR, because that does have a Cape parameter, and I want to kind of look at that for a moment. What was that? I thought it was. Oh, here we go. Let's see if there's any Cape over the area tonight. It's mainly off to the west. Yeah, it's off to the west. I don't know if the NAM provides that with us. Well, not really. Mainly off to the west. But that still doesn't mean there can't be a stronger severe thunderstorm in there, perhaps, tonight. So we will come back to this. Let's talk a little bit about the long range here as we go back to the GFS here. Show you the kind of pattern we're going to get into here as we get into this month, and go look at the jet stream. I guess first of all, still got that split jet stream look on. You can see this is the trough. This is the storm that's bringing us all that moisture tonight that you see, and you can see very shallow. Kind of pinches off. Then we get into another trough that comes through by the weekend. So because of that, there will be storms. There's another one, another trough. So with this kind of thing, yeah, well, it won't. It's not like we're going to have any really prolonged warm spells with this kind of pattern. Let me look at the European as well. We'll probably have agreement on these. Yep, second trough comes through. Third one for Wednesday. Yeah. So it does not look like we're going to see a long, extended period of and that kind of goes to the whole QPF thing here. Day 1 through 7 QPF, and you can see all the rain that's being predicted in our area here. The coasts are kind of wet. The middle is kind of dry, basically, according to the kind of pattern that at least they're. We'll go to the CPC a little bit, but let's go look at the 500. So you can see here trough. All right, this is the storm here that we have here, and you can see almost a little bit of pinches off there a little bit on the euro. Then we get some ridging, but then another trough comes through, brings a drop in temperatures, and then another trough right there. So with this kind of setup, it doesn't look like you're going to have, you'll have some warm days, but I don't think it's going to be any extended period of warmth. And there'll definitely be chances for precipitation with this kind of look here that you can see here that we have. We do have the troughs coming through. And that is going to help moderate the warmth to some degree. So let's go to the CONUS view, and we'll look at the surface. So there's our first storm, kind of slowly crawls away. Then we have improving conditions Tuesday. Wednesday should be dry. Our next storm brings us a chance of showers later Thursday into Friday. Cool down there, another front, and then another low. Weak low maybe brings us a chance of showers maybe overnight Saturday into Sunday. And then another low could bring us another chance of showers on Monday night into Tuesday. There could be a low that forms along that might bring some more rain. But it looks like there's a good amount of rain chances in this forecast here. With all those troughs coming through, there's plenty of storminess, no extended ridging periods at all. We'll look at the European as well. There's that front Thursday night to Friday. And it can be kind of chilly and windy on Friday, according to the European. There's that little disturbance that would move through overnight Saturday into Sunday. And then a much more stronger system the Euro is advertising for the following Tuesday. So as you see, there's plenty of opportunities for precipitation on both these models. And if we do look at the total accumulated precip, you'll see plenty here, perhaps as much as 4 or 5 inches of precipitation. So it could wind up being quite a wet month in our area because we are getting into more of a wet pattern, which would definitely help with the drought. Same thing on the GFS showing right here. So let's go look at our temperature anomaly chart. And you can see tonight and tomorrow we're still going to be above normal. Tuesday will be above normal still. Like I said, no real cool air behind that front. Wednesday we go way up above normal again. Still going to be plenty of above normal days here. It just won't be like a long stretch, maybe 2 or 3 days. And then by Friday, you can see the temperatures drop to near normal. The air ain't that cold, but it'll drop it enough. And then we go above normal again. And then, yeah, it does keep us generally above normal, but not dramatically so. And then there's some shots of cooler air. But it's still going to be an above normal month. I don't think we'll see record warmth, is what I'm saying. Let's look at the European here. So European showing pretty much the same deal. A little bit of a cool down, but then it warms right back up Tuesday. And then Friday, it's a little stronger with that cold air that comes in on Friday. It goes below normal. And then it may bring another cooler shot. And kind of after that, you can see after this week, the European seems to keep us a little more on the cool side. So we'll have to see how that all pans out. And it's going to be kind of interesting when we look at the CPC. Which is what we're going to be looking at next. So let's go ahead and get this out of the way. 6 to 10 day outlook does have us above normal in the northeast with above normal precipitation. Again, mainly because of the storm we're getting now. The storm we're getting tonight. And then 8 to 14 day, you could see here that it does go to near to even a little small area below. Looks like there's more of a ridge in the southwest, but we still have above normal precipitation. So now that we got that out of the way, we'll take a closer look again at our short-range models now that we've got more of them in. Go to the HRRR. Our dew points and wind flow. Got it all except for the last 2 frames. So you can see north winds, but see what happens Tuesday. North winds become more westerly, and then by later they become southwesterly. So that means that's cool air that's coming in will be brief, and so after it cools down tomorrow night, behind the front, maybe in the mid-30s, by morning, we're going to shoot well up into the mid-50s and perhaps closer to 60 inland on Tuesday. All right. Looking at the GFS, kind of got a similar deal going here. You can see there. And then we see that southeasterly wind on Wednesday, which will mean cooler temperatures. Then we go to a southerly wind on Thursday. and then the cold front comes through, and you can see the dew points are much lower, so this is a colder shot of air for Friday. And then for the weekend, it does moderate it again. And you can see after that, no really cold shots of air. Maybe it brings a couple in later on, but it's kind of, this far out, it's kind of hard to say what's going to happen at this point. But it doesn't show any dramatic ridging for this month. So, obviously, Wednesday, we warm up. You can see especially inland, the east wind keeps the coast. And then Thursday, southerly winds mean it's going to be very warm inland. The coast, not quite as warm. And then Friday, we cool down into the 40s. But then we warm back up into the 50s again for the weekend. So this is the GFS here that we're looking at here. All right. So you can see the temperatures and you get an idea of the temperatures. And then this doesn't look great for the last weekend of March. This looks like a stall front syndrome kind of deal. We may be, again, with the backdoor cold front again that we might be dealing with. That is a ways away, obviously. So let's go to the European next. And look at our temperatures on the European this week, because the European's a little different. It looks like the GFS up until we get to Friday, where it's a little stronger with the cold shot of air that we would be getting on Friday. And then the weekend, obviously, we'd see some kind of recovery, but not as much. So, like I said, no real record-breaking warmth. If you're looking for 80 degrees, we're not going to see that here. But if you're inland, you could get some 70-degree readings this week. So let's look at back to the GFS. We'll look at our skies. So you can take a look. Tomorrow we'll be stuck in the clouds. And we're going to have trouble even getting rid of the clouds over Suffolk County on Tuesday. They're still going to be hanging on, but it will be clearer in New Jersey. That's probably where it's going to be clear and sunny. And then for Wednesday, we'll probably start with sun and then increasing high clouds. And then we'd have to wait till this next cold front comes through on Friday to bring us another sunny day. Perhaps clear that out. And then the weekend, we may be dealing with more clouds again. RGEM, let's look at that. This is the 18Z RGEM. So tomorrow we're in the clouds, and you can see these clouds just really take their sweet time pushing away, and it looks like they're just stuck over Long Island. But off to the west, it'll be clear if you're in New Jersey. And then it finally pushes away, and then Wednesday, it looks like it kind of keeps us wedged in a clear spot. So we'll have to see what happens. Maybe we'll get lucky on Wednesday and we'll have sunny weather over Long Island. But if you're looking for clear skies on Tuesday, well, it's telling you to shut up and go hike in New Jersey, I'm afraid. So let's look back. Let's go back to let's go look at some of these other models that we have to look at and visualize the winds tonight. And talk about the LLJ, obviously, that we have. We'll just go ahead and look at these wind gusts, and you can see gusting close to 40. It's just at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. It looks like it's got an area of really strong winds around 11 o'clock right over Nassau County. Could that possibly be a thunderstorm, perhaps, that it's showing? Now, if I hit the thunderstorms, it's not showing any cape in this spot. It is showing off to the west. But if we go to precipitation here, right, it's actually not showing a thunderstorm over there. That's kind of interesting. It has one over here, though. So, whatever the case is, we're still going to be dealing with this, and really should have had a wind advisory tonight. I don't know why Upton didn't issue one, but there should have been one for Long Island, in my opinion. And then midnight, still in the wind risk, and then after we get midnight, it starts slowly winding down from west to east, but very slow because this front moves very slow. And that's the problem. Very slow-moving front. It's going to take its sweet time moving through, and that's going to take it's just going to take its sweet time, and that's the problem that we have. That's what we're dealing with here. A very slow-moving front that's going to bring a river of moisture over us. Showers and thunderstorms overnight that's going to be going all night long and may even linger into tomorrow. I'm hoping not, but some of these models just really want to slow this thing down. Let's go to windy.com, the other one we can look at here. And we'll go ahead and look at the wind gusts on this too as well. This is the European model here, so not as high res, but you can still see it still has some pretty strong winds over Long Island there. Gusts well into the 40s. And then by 3 a.m., it's slowly shifting east, still over Suffolk County, maybe starting to wind down a little bit in Nassau. And then finally, maybe by 8, it's mainly just over Suffolk County at this point. And then finally, we're in the northwest flow as we get toward the afternoon. And you can see the northwest. But then as we get to the northwest flow, we'll have some breezy conditions too as well. But nothing that will be damaging. This is going to be a slow-moving storm. Let's show you this rain thing. And you can still see it showing rain over the area, light rain even as of 4 p.m., having it lingering around and slowly, finally getting this thing out of here. It's taking its sweet time. It really is. It really is. As you can see. So this is what we're going to be dealing with tonight. Let me see if we have a new NAM modeling we can look at. No, we don't. So what are the new models we could have to look at here? V3. We do have a 0ZF-V3. So here's the 0ZF-V3 run. You can see it looks like it's got a really big blob of moisture, heavy rain coming over us actually around in the wee hours of the morning over Long Island. So as far as the heavy rain goes, we're really not out of the woods until probably 8, 9 o'clock, but you're still going to have some lingering rain that might last throughout the afternoon until this slow-moving front just crawls on offshore. This is what we're going to be dealing with tonight as we deal with an atmospheric river event over our area. Let's just look at some more observations right now, see if we can see any really... Oh, look at this, a gust of 50 being reported at Barnegat Light here. So south wind at 17, gusting to 50. So, yeah, they have a wind advisory in this area. Here's another one that looks pretty impressive. Southeast wind at 32 miles an hour. No gust being reported, but, yeah, there's some pretty strong winds along the Jersey Shore. And, again, any of those winds could mix down to the surface and a thunderstorm, perhaps. And we're going to have to really keep an eye on this for sure. Let's take a look at power outages. It looks like there is some orange in New York. It's mainly western parts of the state. Again, they're the areas that have dealt with some strong to severe thunderstorms and wind gusts. New Jersey not showing a whole lot, just 4,087. Let's see where most of them are. Looks like mainly in the southern part of the state. And then Pennsylvania also getting hit hard because they also dealt with some severe thunderstorms today as well. West Virginia and North Carolina also dealing with some outages. I'm not seeing too many in Delaware or Maryland. So that is then that's an area that's getting hit again by that pretty significant cell that we got going on. That is over here. Yeah, that's moving, and we're gonna this is probably gonna move in our area. This will all have to be watched overnight. And if there are any severe weather warnings for our area, I'll either make a post or a video about it. But otherwise, it's just going to be very heavy rain, wind-driven heavy rain tonight as we deal with this very slow-moving atmospheric river. We'll look at this LLJ just one more time here. Let's go ahead and... This is the site, yes, the site. All right, so we'll go to wind speed, and we'll just look at this LLJ. Let's do just 1,600 feet. All right, so these are the winds above us right now, 7. So you can see how strong they are. So I'm showing this to make a point that any shower or thunderstorm could wind up tapping into these winds, and that's why we might see some severe thunderstorm warnings. Mainly wind damage, I think, would be the main threat, as well as flash flooding due to the heavy rain. You can see there's that LLJ. Look at that showing up right there, all the way up there. Look at that. That's incredible right there. And if you look at dew points here, I'm going to show you just how far these dew points are surging up there. Look at that. That's surging all the way up there. That's nuts. But that is what we're going to go through tonight. Luckily, it's mostly going to be overnight. And hopefully gets out of the way tomorrow, but again, could be lingering around a little bit. This is what happens when you have the way the jet stream is. It's just kind of moving through very slowly. So that's going to wrap up this Long Island weather report and outlook. Have a good night.